And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. Over 80 show partners now with the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goals are to educate, enlighten, and most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone, save our Consumer Advocate hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Program that number in your phone because at some point you're going to need it. 813-917-1894.
Baby, don't forget my number.
We also want you to bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. That's our website, blog site, a plethora of information available for you at consumerqb.com. Click on the live stream link. You can watch our television show. And also, if you pull up the Expert Contributors tab, you can see links to all of our expert contributors, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on air as consumer advocates to help you win no matter what you're facing. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We want to help you win. And this segment is brought to you by Back In Health Massage, helping people with neck, back, shoulder, hip, and leg pain feel better. Big shout out to Michael Vogt, my massage therapist here in Tampa Bay, voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the readers of the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards, as well as a big shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Shout out to the Maids, 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. They are referred for a reason. So we're live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa here. Let's go around the horn, make our introductions. Back in studio, Mr. Jerel McCants Architecture. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure, man. What's going on in the architecture world?
Oh, wow. Well, I think your listeners will see there's a lot of development going around town, and that ties in very nicely with the mayor's envision plan he wrote out a few years ago. I was going to talk about a couple of development projects that's going on, 3 new proposed mixed-use high-rise buildings downtown Tampa. There's development up by the waterfront next to Ulale's, and also some interesting stuff with Elon Musk in the news where he does some sustainable stuff that's pretty cool.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I love that. Tesla, Elon Musk, very cool.
Right.
You know, Solar City, and he's got the house panels going on. So, yeah,
Exactly.
let's definitely jump into some of that and how that design can implement into the new home structures as well as businesses.
Right.
And also back in studio, Jason Avery, owner of Avery Home Remodeling and author of Constructing Success. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, man, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, the remodeling world is on fire, and the construction company doubled its sales goal last year, or last month. And so anyways, the experiences these customers go through, what to expect, and something we're going to talk about today. Well, there's a lot of emotions that get wrapped up into a project that's going to last a few months and that you're going to live through. So we'll talk on some of the touching points for that and try and give people some advice on how to make it go smooth.
Sure, yeah. Managing expectations, a big part of the process with home remodeling, construction as well. And we had Sarah Shirelli on yesterday's show. And, I'd like to mention as well, we had a really cool opportunity to interview for a nationally televised TV show as well, another flip fix type show, and waiting to hear back from that. But so a lot of cool stuff. So, and also in studio, Jaret Nichols, Tampa Bay Electronic Systems. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, hey, my pleasure. Absolutely. So, we love to talk about your space as well. So many things going on in the home automation and a lot of cool things happening out there.
Yeah, we're always involved in a number of awesome projects, real cool stuff. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about a lot of the outside stuff that we're doing. That's a category that is exploding right now. A lot of people call it outdoor living. There's a lot of TVs, specialized speaker systems, stuff like that we're seeing right now that that we're installing for clients. And we have a number of clients that are also putting in multiple outdoor audio zones where there might be 5 to 10 different zones where you can play music outside in some of these larger properties. Pretty cool stuff, among other things.
Yeah, that's neat. I think a lot of people love to do the home parties, do the home entertaining, and just spend time at home. They're investing, a lot of money in a mortgage and some of the cost side of real estate. So why not have these awesome systems, installed in your property so that way you can enjoy it more. So.
Yeah, it's as easy as just hitting one button and turning on different zones, controlling the TV, not worrying about cannonballs in the pool next to your TV because it's water resistant.
Yeah.
So a lot of cool stuff, and then also security features that can tie in lights and other things like that outside to keep you safe and comfortable.
It's amazing what can be done these days. We just got back from Las Vegas. We stayed at the Bellagio, and my daughter got a kick out of the buttons to close the blinds and everything. So, yeah, a lot of cool things that you can do now with automation, and so we're going to talk more about that. So, as you can tell, we've got a great lineup for you today. It's Intelligent Talk Radio, and we've got some intelligent folks here in studio to help you as a consumer advocate as well. We want you to think of this show as the hub of your financial will. Each spoke extending out is going to represent another one of our preferred partners, the finest folks that we've assembled to help you win no matter what area of real estate, business, finance that you're looking at, endeavoring in. We want to help you with that. So we appreciate you tuning into the show. And let's go ahead and jump right into this great content. Actually, before we do, I've got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about. I've got 8156 Causeway Boulevard South in St. Petersburg. Now, this is a waterfront beauty. This is a property that has 125 feet of water frontage and direct access out into the Gulf of Mexico, into the Bay, and it's in Treasure Island. So it's a great buying opportunity at $640,000. 8156 Causeway Boulevard South in St. Pete, as well as a affordable property here. Here's the nice beach property, 18399 Gulf Boulevard, number 394, Indian Shores. Now, this is the Bellevue Gulf condo, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, community pool, condo hotel, and it is listed at only $159,000. $159,000, you can have a nice beach getaway, vacation, staycation style home in beautiful Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this great content. We're here in studio, live from iHeartRadio, South Tampa here, and Jerel McCants Architecture. So, yeah, as we're kind of teasing there, I think it's a really cool area to see how, Elon Musk and some of these other innovators in the space are, changing, not only the way that we drive vehicles, but also the way that we power our homes and some of the architectural design behind it.
Right. And it's very interesting. A lot of the concepts are been around a long time, and for one reason or another, they haven't really been put together and marketed. And Elon, with his team, has been able to, navigate through that maze and create products that can be affordable.
Yep.
And even in his presentation about the solar panels, he was saying that he's trying to market those people that want solar panels, but they either didn't like the look of them or couldn't afford the cost of it. So with the integrating into the shingle systems, and then he made them more durable, where they actually last longer than the traditional asphalt shingles that most people have in their houses. And so he's taken a unique approach and combined it with with other thinkers out there to create these new products that are definitely be marketable.
Yeah, that's neat, man. They also have the wall too. I think it is something like a power wall.
Yeah. He has a battery backup for homes now. Like a lot of times you have generators or things that can back up larger houses, but if you have a smaller house, you may not want to or afford to have a generator run a house that's like 1,500 or 1,200 square feet. So with these power wall, these power packs, they're only about 1 foot by 3 feet that you can stick on a wall, and they'll be able to provide power for the house. In case you have some power outages, especially here in Tampa Bay, we have lightning storms. It may cause a couple of power outages, or you'll have constant power.
Right.
Yeah, so this is interesting stuff. Yeah,
that's strong, man. So downtown, man, a lot of big things happening down there. Vinnick, his team, the whole plan, the wellness district, first ever wellness district in Tampa Bay or in the United States. So yeah, what's happening?
Right, and like I said earlier, the mayor has that audacious plan to make Tampa this next great American city, and we're on the path to do that. We have, along with developers, and they partner with investment firms to try to create this atmosphere, like you said. We have bike lanes now growing in downtown and in around the surrounding areas. The new Publix going in. Like I was working on a project years ago to try to bring a Publix downtown, and those plans fell through, and now there's finally one that'll be constructed about next year in conjunction with a high rise, and that high rise is going to be about 300 plus units over there on Channel Side. So it's very nice to see things coming together, and people are moving forward with those plans.
Yeah, it's coming together for sure. There's a lot of big things happening. In last week's show, we talked about driverless vehicles, giving people rides down there. I mean, there's just so many cool things happening. The walkability.
Right.
I love how they're embracing the green spaces as well, because that's one of the, kind of the negative sides that people think about when they think about cities. Not enough green spaces. But yeah, so all-star lineup for you today. Jerel McCants Architecture. Coming up, we're going to also talk with Jason Avery. He's the owner of Avery Home Remodeling and Construction, author of Constructing Success, as well as Jaret Nichols, Tampa Bay Electronic Systems, and ways that you can automate some of your indoor entertainment, outdoor entertainment. Talk more about the outdoor spaces today as well. And we're having a great time with you down here at iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., your most important hour on the radio. And also, real estate mentor sued for fraud after house flip failure, stpetersburgblog.com. And stay with us. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host. I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine multiple times. Top Agent Magazine as well, just last week, featured in Top Agent Magazine. And real excited about a lot of growth here around the show, around the brokerage, interviewing for nationally televised TV shows. We just had our second book release as well, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. And it's a book for entrepreneurs, business owners out there, how to start your own radio show from A to Z, written by myself as well as Connor Anthony, co-host on the show and show producer as well. So check it out on Amazon. We'd love for you to please go check it out, buy a copy, like it, and review it. Very important. It helps a lot with our social media as well. And so we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio. This segment is brought to you by Hula Bay, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Big shout out to Mike Finnegan, the manager of Hula Bay, and his team down on Tyson Avenue. Waterfront ambiance, excellent food, awesome sushi, and a great menu as well. So go say hello to Mike Finnegan, the manager. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you for a free water with lemon. That's kind of our running joke here on the show. So let him know we sent you down there. Also, a big shout out to Source One Solutions, Honeywell Technologies as well. Robert Hessel and his team do a great job with security on your existing businesses or structures or homes. Source One Solutions, the official security partner, Honeywell Technology as well. And so we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa. And I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host. I'm also the owner of Platinum MVP Realty. Got a hot listing that's back on the market. You got 27-acre ranch located just south of the Citrus Park Mall here in Tampa Bay. 27-acre ranch for sale at Gardner Road. So attention any builders, developers, entrepreneurs looking to develop Gardner Road here. It's one of the last great pieces of real estate that's kind of located centrally here. Again, it's just south of Citrus Park Mall, just on the east side of Sheldon Road, and it's right by the Veterans Expressway at Lineball there. So it's a great parcel of land. 27-acre ranch available for sale and development, and you could build custom homes there. I think it's R4, R5 zoning. So you get 5 units per property or per acre. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go back to Jerel McCants Architecture, and what else are you seeing out there, Jerel?
Well, there's a lot of other different things going on. There's still a lot of commercial building going on with restaurants building. We have a couple that's going on right now. It's going to be completed early next year. That's really something that we've seen a growth in. It's just those that restaurant sector, and then a lot of new custom boutique restaurants that are going on around town. So they may not be franchises, but they're unique, and they want to draw a certain ambiance that's unique onto themselves. So, anywhere around Seminole Heights, and also over in St. Pete, they're creating that kind of atmosphere as well.
Yeah.
So it's some interesting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of restaurants. You look at Boy Scout Row. I kind of call that the restaurant row there. Right by International Plaza. So many restaurants in there.
Right, and I think a lot of the other aspect of that around that area is that we're going to have the College National Football Championship coming up, and I think the Wing House just opened, so that's a double-decker restaurant, outside deck.
That's right.
That's going right across the street from the stadium, so you're going to see probably a lot more of that going on, gearing up for the crowd expected to come here.
Big game. I mean, for those that heard of the Super Bowl, I mean, the NCAA championship game coming to Tampa Bay in January. A lot of people love college football even more so than the pros, just because of the passion behind the athletes.
Yeah, it's bigger crowds. More personal. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and friends of mine, we have a party house on Leroy over there. It's a fun party house to kind of go and tailgate and pregame for, and we're talking about maybe buying that from them. But a lot of cool stuff around the stadium. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Jerel McCants Architecture, and I think you were voted top small business from the South Tampa Chamber last year. I think it was.
Yep.
Cool, man.
2015. So we're still doing our thing, and we're based in the Ybor, and we're right on 7th Avenue, so it's pretty easy to find. Upstairs or right above a cool cigar bar and a pizza shop. So once we have meetings in our space, we go downstairs and have a cigar or coffee or whatever. So it's very convenient, and Ybor has that unique historic fabric that's uniquely tied into Tampa. So there are a lot of the artists and designers, and anybody that appreciates that type of character, the brick and everything there. So it ties in very nicely with what we do from a design perspective and detailing and customizing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jerel, a lot of times whenever you're getting involved in early on the process, whether it's a development team, people looking to go into developing some of these high-rise type multi-level buildings, or even down to the simple residential property, is that right?
Right. Yeah, we do it can be small projects like residential remodels. I'll meet with clients at their place, and they'll kind of lay out, have a idea of what they want to do, and we'll go back and try to refine it and take that budget, or if they don't have a budget, we'll try to work with them to create a reasonable budget to do the work, and that can be anywhere from an interior remodel to exterior additions. I've done second story additions to houses. So a lot of times people might not want to move out of their neighborhood.
Yep.
They love their neighborhood and they want to stay there, but they just rent out of space. They may have had family members, teenagers that want their own space, and then nowadays everybody wants to have the master suite with the bathroom put in, and so we'll go in and try to make the house the additions, the remodels kind of tie in so it doesn't look like an addition. So
Right.
Once they walk away from the project, people think it was built that way from the beginning.
Yeah, from the original structure.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of times you're working with folks like Jason Avery,
Oh, yeah.
Avery Construction. So you go in, and we've talked about this on the show before as well, is that, there's a limited supply of inventory, as a real estate agent here in Tampa Bay, and I've got a team out there that works with buyers. Buyers are frustrated because they don't find the inventory that they want, and then some of the inventory that is available, it needs it desperately needs a remodel. A lot of times you want to look at taking down load-bearing walls and opening up, we talked about with the waterfront properties. So that's where you come in, you work with Jason Avery, guys like that,
Right.
and you come in and you redesign these new styles and new floor plans.
Right. And I'm working on a house actually in Apollo Beach where a person purchased a house and it was existing right there on the waterfront. Beautiful, large house, and it had multiple additions, and the previous architect did a good job of blending it in to make the house look like one entire structure. But there again, they wanted customization. So we go in there and try to see what we can do to fit the type of use that they want in their space. Everybody has a different idea. They don't want to have a lived-in space that might look like somebody else's. They want to customize and make it their own.
Yep.
So we work with them to try to create that idea or whatever that they have in their head and then put it on paper and then make it come to reality.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you're a listener out there and you want to take them up on this offer or, at least a consultation, consumerqb.com, submit the form, comes to me just like an email, and consumerqb.com, submit the form. Also, send a text message if you're interested in remodeling your home or maybe talking to Jerel McCants with the architectural side or maybe Jason Avery. Send us a text message to our hotline. It's 813-917-1894.
Welcome to my house.
813-917-1894. And let's go ahead and bring Jason into the conversation. So yeah, Jason, seeing, with that trend of real estate right now, talking about the residential sector, lack of inventory, more and more people are turning to remodeling.
Yeah, I see the same thing you guys are seeing, and it's either that the people have just bought a house, but they couldn't find exactly what they wanted, so they're going to make do with this one and turn it into what they want through the construction. So I get a lot of those phone calls, hey, I just closed, or I'm going to close next week. Can you come meet me and tell me what this is going to cost me?
Yep.
And I find a lot of the times that these people maybe get in a little over their head. They think that the improvements don't quite cost what they do, and they need a little bit of a reality check. So that's always been one of the mantras we've had. We come out right from the beginning with what we call a same-day estimate guarantee.
Yep.
We actually break down costs into ranges, and because there's highs and there's lows, because there's so many different ways to approach things, different product types, different patterns of install, and different levels of complexity. Is it an interior non-load-bearing wall we want to knock down, or do I need Jerel to draw me up that detail for the engineered, design of it and how we're gonna, meet up to our current hurricane codes while also bearing weight?
Yeah.
So there's lots of challenges with home construction, but I'll tell you, it's not stopping anybody. And if they are just buying the house, they are fixing them up. If they are been there for a while, they are fixing them up because they feel they're going to be staying a while. There's nothing better on the market right now for them without starting over. So, a typical production month at Avery Construction is about $300,000 worth of renovations. And last month alone was 525. We're into the first week of November with another 200 on the board.
Yeah.
We always see a surge in fourth quarter for the holidays. People think they're going to slide in at the last minute and try and get it done before Thanksgiving or get it done before Christmas or at least before the New Year. And then you've got those others who are waiting on the doorsteps of the new year. And the moment the company leaves, we want to break ground. And so it's always a busy time of year, but I'll tell you, we've seen 30% increase over last year in new contracts, and I think that could go even higher yet. And we're constantly recruiting. The biggest challenge for any contractor in the industry today is finding the talent. And the labor force has shrunk, and the millennia aren't as interested in the physical labor, and they haven't been educated by it.
Yeah.
So, definitely there's opportunities for us to get out there and speak to the schools and try and create those.
Perfect. And let's come
career
back and let's
opportunities.
talk about your book as well, how you're helping business owners, entrepreneurs get more networked into the community and developing referrals as well. And also, we got an interesting story. Real estate mentor sued for fraud after house flipping failures. stpetersburgblog.com. And more from our expert contributors. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus Card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here, holding up the cover, if you're watching our live stream here, holding up the cover to Homes and Land Magazine. Big shout out to Victor Alleman with Platinum MVP Realty. We got the full cover here of Homes and Land Magazine. He's got a beautiful listing over in Tarpon Springs, and it's a waterfront, gorgeous 3,880 square foot living space pool home. It's got a separate pool house and can hold up to a 50-foot boat, listed at $1.339 million. Great buying opportunity. Compliments of Victor Alleman on Marina Drive here in Tarpon Springs. Got a full page ad also as well in Homes and Land Magazine as well, highlighting some of our top listings. And I've got a 700 St. Petersburg Drive West in Oldsmar, another beautiful property here. And this is more for the business owner out there. You got a business owner potentially renting a space somewhere around the Oldsmar area. This is an opportunity to buy for $295,000. Buy your own building, own a corner lot. You got plenty of parking spaces here at 700 St. Petersburg Drive West in Oldsmar. $295,000 for a piece of beautiful Tampa Bay.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, and this segment is brought to you by Smart Move Moving and Storage, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Big shout out to Hannah and her team over at Smart Move Moving and Storage. They do a great job with a lot of our local moves here in Tampa Bay, as well as Brace Accounting Services. Big shout out to Tom Oleski and Ronald Brace over at Brace Accounting. Ron Brace, kind of interesting side story here. He's actually a off-ice official for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he's been doing that for, I think, something like 25 years, and he's only missed 4 or 5 hockey games over that tenure. So who better to have as a statistician for the team than an accountant, right? So he does a great job with that. Really good partners of the show as well. So we're back here in studio, live from iHeartRadio. First segment, we heard from Jerel McCants Architecture, and now we're talking with Jason Avery Remodeling and Construction, and author of Constructing Success as well. Jaret Nichols going to be coming into the conversation here soon as well. Tampa Bay Electronic Systems. So, yeah, Constructing Success, blueprints for a referral-based business. And so, yeah, interesting book there, Jason, kind of helping business owners.
Yeah, I wrote this book to help the entrepreneur, the business owner, the salesperson with the concept of managing a customer's expectations, understanding that there are going to be emotions involved. Yep. There's going to be high points, there's going to be low points, and it's like a roller coaster ride. You have to be able to predict what the hazards are of your industry that are going to create the negative emotions in your client. You have to be 2 steps ahead, like you're playing chess, and be communicating at a level that's going to prepare them and prevent them from feeling the worst. Mm-hmm. So this is just what you have to do if you're going to get through a project of 2 or 3 months with somebody and come out on the other end where they actually still like you and want to tell a good story and refer you to the next client. So the book is written to the entrepreneur to help guide them down that process, but today I want to help our consumers by telling them what I wrote about them in here and what to expect. Yeah. There's lots of remodeling going on, but people sometimes, again, get in over their heads or don't know what they're getting into. And these projects take anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks to get started. Yep. You've got time for the architect to prepare the plans and get them ready for plans review. You've got, time invested into multiple trips to a building department and, answering the questions of the plans examiners before you actually issue a permit and break ground. Yep. Then you've got to line up, all your trades. As you come into a project, it's going to go in phases, and you have a demolition phase, and you're going to get all the trash out of the house, let the dust settle the best you can. But it doesn't matter how much plastic a contractor puts up. If you're going to live with air conditioning, you're going to be moving air through the house, and you're going to have dust everywhere. Yeah. And all of your stuff is in disarray. You've pushed it into corners, into closets, and you find yourself making your coffee on the bathroom vanity. Yeah. And this is uncomfortable. You've got strangers coming into your home every day, and this is all after we've stressed you out by taking you away from your job and your work to go out to 10 different stores to pick out which paint color you want to go with which faucet, which will go with which floor tile, cabinet, countertop, and the list goes on. Sure. And these decisions aren't comfortable for people who don't do it every day. Yeah. So that's where I highly, highly encourage them to invest into the assistance of a guy like Jerel, somebody like Sarah Shirelli, the interior designer that was on the other day. These people are great at helping them figure out the small details. We come in, we bulk rate up the construction, we know what the labor values are and the raw materials, and try our best to make it as comfortable of an experience as it can be in an otherwise very uncomfortable environment. Sure. So that's the customer experience roller coaster, man. And a lot of contractors don't get that. They don't pay close enough attention to this. And it's just simple lack of communication and lack of detail that ends up making things very uncomfortable for all parties. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Especially you add the holidays into the mix, right? You know, this time of year, you got kids' soccer games going on. I mean, there's already a lot on people's plates, and it seems like an even faster society than even 10 or 15, 20 years ago. So you add all that into the mix.
One little example I give in the book is, when you hang a cabinet on the wall, you're supposed to stick a shim behind it to make sure the cabinet hangs level. That's the appropriate install.
Right.
If you don't explain that to the client, when they come home from work this evening and they look to the end of the run of cabinets, they're now going to see a gap between the cabinet and the wall.
Yep.
And that raises the question, should it be that way? I can't believe they'd leave it that way.
Yep.
What else is wrong? And now they're going to search for 5 other things that they are concerned about.
Yep.
Taking the time to put a simple piece of tape on the side of the cabinet with a note that says install trim here would have alleviated the concern and allowed the people to get a good night's rest and not question 5 other things that you're working on. Everybody, has a better experience this way. It's just the little things, the small little details that you have to teach to the men in the field so that they can help you deliver that better experience that you're selling to them.
And I think one of the biggest things too is that upfront same day estimation guarantee. Working with others, hearing from other homeowners to actually get an estimate from a contractor days, weeks down the road. You're begging them for it,
So the humor in this for me is that I wrote this book last year. We got a #1 bestseller with it, and then just this year, over the last 2.5 months, we've been renovating our own home. So I'm reliving the experience that I told people about.
Nice.
And I can remind you that it's no fun. But the end result is so worth it. When you have, a dinner party and all your friends, ooh and ah over it, over the brand new kitchen or the brand new bathrooms, it's well worth it. And you're going to have many great memories with your family and friends to come that'll justify that pain, that little bit of pain you had to go through on the road there.
That's right. And you're improving the property value and looking toward, potentially a resale down the line. So a lot of good reasons.
Another great tip for consumers, if you have done some improvement to your home already, and reconsider how did you take on the original mortgage. And if you took on an FHA loan to begin with, you're probably paying mortgage premium insurance. If you've now renovated and improved the value to a point where there's a 20% threshold, you can consider converting your loan into a conventional, reduce the time, reduce your interest rate, get rid of the mortgage premium insurance. And we went through this exercise, and for about an extra $129 a month, we can shave 9 years. And amazing the difference it can make when you get from the FHA into the conventional. And if you've already remodeled, consider getting it reappraised
and save thousands of dollars in interest. Yeah, great point. Talking about a refinance that makes sense. That's a refinance that makes sense. You've increased the property value. Now, once you get to that 80% loan to value, 20% equity, great point, Jason. Let's go ahead and bring Jaret Nichols into the conversation. Tampa Bay Electronic Systems. So yeah, you can come in, piggyback right on the back of this as well, and add in all the cool electronics.
Yeah, getting back to what these guys were talking about here as far as, deadlines and stuff like that, and keeping job sites clean. And it's tough because, even if you communicate to the highest level, there's always going to be one person probably on your job site that screws it all up. And we see that all the time. Somebody doesn't clean up after themselves, and it just, unfortunately, one thing like that can set the client off. But yeah, our we compliment everything that's done. Whether it's working with an architect or interior designer to hide speakers. I think I've talked on the show before about we have invisible speakers.
Yeah.
They get buried in the drywall. You don't even see them. They just produce sound, and it's a cool feature. Hitting TVs and stuff like that. We tend to get forgotten in the process a lot of times with our low voltage. I can't tell you how many times we get called in. Oh, I just remodeled my whole house and I want you guys to do the audio, video, put some security, and I'm like, you were down to the studs and you didn't hear from us.
Yeah.
So, that happens way too often. And that's my biggest tip for today would be just when you get to that point where you're talking right away with an interior designer or architect or just a contractor, general contractor, make sure that you think about every possible thing you want to do, because the price can really go up labor-wise. And if you forget, hey, I wanted that plumbing fixture there, or I wanted that light there, or I wanted speakers or a TV or some sort of security.
Sure, yeah, speaker wiring, exactly. And we're going to spend some more time with Jaret Nichols, Tampa Bay Electronic Systems, outdoor living, indoor decor, all types of cool stuff that you can utilize now with these different types of technologies that you're able to, put into your property, and a lot of the automation, home automation as well. And we're also going to go into our lightning round as well. One more round of top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid, and an interesting story as well. Real estate mentor sued for fraud after house flip failure. stpetersburgblog.com. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes here. Former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team at the University of South Florida. Had Coach Jim Levitt on the show this past summer. Interesting story. Great content on our YouTube channel. Check out our YouTube channel. A lot of great content. Grant Cardone, Mayor Bob Buckhorn of Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg Mayor Rick Kreisman been on the show. Warwick Dunn had a great show with Warwick Dunn. Check out our YouTube channel. Follow us, like us, and share it. We would appreciate that. And we're back here in studio. This segment is brought to you by MJ Martinez, Advantage PI, Advantage Unlimited Investigations. Big shout out to MJ Martinez, Advantage PI. Private investigator partner of the show, as well as Michael Lysenko. He's our safe money coach, helping you as a fiduciary. A big difference is that he's a fiduciary. So a lot of these so-called wealth advisors run around touting certain products and mutual funds, whereas Michael Lysenko is a fiduciary, meaning that he works for you legally. He works for you, not the banks, not the mutual fund companies. So Michael Lisenko, Safe Money Coach, all of our expert contributors can be found on consumerqb.com. Go to our website, consumerqb.com, and click on the expert contributors tab. You can see contact information for everyone that is in studio and that you've ever heard on this show listed there at our website. Got a hot listing here, 5722 Tanager Side Road in Lithia. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath property out in Fishhawk. It's 4-bedroom, 3-bath pool home, over 3,200 square feet, located in desirable Fishhawk's Parkside Village. No CDD or high HOA fees here. So $450,000 for Tanager Side Road in Lithia, as well as a beautiful lot here, Build Your Dream Home at 0 Point Seaside Drive in Crystal Beach. And just reduced this property as well. It's listed at $299,000. Great buying opportunity and great real estate opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay.
No shoes, no shirt, and no problem.
All right, so let's go ahead back to Jaret Nichols here, Tampa Bay Electronic Systems. So, what else are you seeing out there, Jaret?
Well, one of the biggest categories that we see growing right now is outdoor living, which is, outdoor entertaining, the same kind of thing. A lot more people are looking at these outdoor spaces, lanais, pool areas, giant backyards, and saying, hey, we want to entertain a lot. What is the best way to kind of make our client or make our friends feel comfortable and also provide the best and easiest to use solutions out there? So, we're seeing a lot of new products coming out as far as outdoor TVs that are water resistant. I'm seeing those in 3 different types right now. One that's a direct sunlight model that you can put right by your pool, spray down with a hose.
Wow.
It's super bright, so you could see it in that environment. There's also one that's partial sun, which is kind of, I guess, the gap between that model, and then there's also one that's a shade model, which would be for like a lanai that's always covered, that's never going to have direct sunlight. And obviously the prices correspond with which one you're getting. But we're also seeing a lot of stuff with cool outdoor speaker systems. It used to be back in the day, you just stick a pair of speakers on the wall and, you'd blast that as loud as possible. Now we're seeing these systems that have 8 speakers or more, a buried subwoofer. You don't even see it. But the nice thing about those systems, too, is you can put them at the edge of the perimeter of your property, facing back at your house, keep that noise out of your neighbor's yard, appreciated by everyone involved.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
So, buried subwoofers, hardscape subwoofers, just lots of stuff in the entertainment area as far as that goes. But we're also doing a lot of motorization of, say, bug screens, controlling irrigation systems, putting things on docks to notify people when somebody's walked on their dock, controlling lights, landscape lighting. We could probably make our business just on outside stuff the way things are going here.
The cool thing that he's talking about with those outdoor speakers, we just had some put in at our ranch property, that the amplifiers they have these days could actually buffer the different zones and things, so that, even though it's got a longer signal for the Bluetooth to reach this one, it'll slow down the other speakers closer to the hub so that everything plays universally together, so you can, blast out the whole property and it's like one tone. It's really, really neat technology.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we're seeing also, maybe they'll have one big speaker system, but multiple lanais and balconies with the speakers. So you just take out your smartphone and say, okay, I'm going to start playing it at the pool, but let's do this zone, this zone, this zone, this zone, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's just playing everywhere. So no matter where you go, you're listening to it, inside, outside.
Wow.
It's just real cool stuff out there.
Yeah, very cool. It's Jaret Nichols, Tampa Bay Electronic Systems. So, the time of year is perfect for it. People are loving their football games. They're watching a lot of, the sports TV, is constantly on. You got the fantasy football picks happening. So, yeah. So what else are you seeing out there, Jaret? I mean, people, what are some of the common mistakes that people make? We got the construction side where they're not focused on the wiring in the beginning, but what else are you seeing?
Well, there's from a whole systems perspective, a lot of times people don't quite understand, I guess, what a lot of the functions are, even of pulling a wire. So there's always pushback on, not putting in essential parts if you want to do a fully integrated system, missing out on the network, which is required for your smartphone to connect to the system. You can't just use your FiOS router and go walk all the way out to your dock and expect that you're going to connect and control your system. Yeah. So there's like a lot of prerequisites and stuff like that that has to happen ahead of time. That's probably one of the biggest, mistakes people make, and just not calling us, like I said before, calling us in at the right point in time. I mean, sometimes it's just downright impossible, to do something late after the fact.
Brandon, you definitely, consumers need to know, you want to call a professional like him for the right kind of equipment. For instance, the TVs he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I see so many people think that they're just going to take a standard flat screen they bought for $300 at Best Buy and slap it up on the wall, and the wires within it'll be rusting out within a matter of months. Something we ran into that on a project I found to be an interesting thought for those. We did a build out on the wall to create the recess for the TV so we could slap the hurricane roll down shutter in front of it. Nice. Why, do you ask? Not to protect it from the hurricane, but so that the flat screen wouldn't disappear off the back porch.
Yeah.
And you could throw down the shutter in front of it and lock it behind, safe.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Sometimes we'll do some security on that too. So when you break a contact, it'll actually set off a siren or something.
Oh, that's very cool.
But we've seen the TVs. If you live on the water, especially directly on salt water, or the bay, or something like that, I've seen TVs last 3 months.
Wow.
And clients say, "Oh no, I don't need that." Okay, there's a 2-year warranty on those outdoor TVs, and I've never seen them last less than that.
Yeah, because the salt water just really kills them.
It'll destroy them. And, clients, I just bought this 6 months ago. Okay, well, it sat out here for 6 months and just took abuse.
You literally need a TV to be UL rated for the outdoors. So.
Yep.
UL? What is UL? What is...
It's the laboratories that do the testing on the products. They're switching out the interior parts. So
I see.
Different listings for electrical uses.
Cool.
Stainless parts and things that aren't going to rust.
Awesome. I want to get this story in here. Real estate mentor sued for fraud after house flipping failures. StPetersburgblog.com. A lawsuit has been filed against a local real estate company for allegedly scamming 2 local realtors out of $35,000. He sued filed by 2 University of South Florida alumni alleges Tampa Bay business owner, real estate agent Juan Carlos Gonzalez misrepresented himself when agreeing to be their mentor. Gonzalez was prosecuted in 2011 for unlicensed real estate sales and grand theft. After completing a pre-trial intervention program, the charges were dropped. So, it's all about our show. Is the theme of the show is being a consumer advocate and helping you understand. There's a lot of scams out there, Craigslist scams. We've seen it. We've heard it. We've heard people. We've heard of people, making hundreds of $1,000 mistakes here on the show. So, we want to remind you, check our blog site, check our website, and engage us if there's anything that we can do to help you. 813-917-1894. That's our hotline.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Give us a call on the hotline, 813-917-1894. And we're going to go into our lightning round. All right, top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. 30 seconds for you, Jerel.
Okay, well, one thing that I think all three of us will agree to is that clients need to know that changes, when you do changes either on the design side or on the construction side, they have implications to them. So when you're doing the design on our side and you want changes, that's going to affect time, our time, your time to get the plans done. And then once it's in construction, then you got an extra price control you got to do when the contractor does a build out. Then and the client wants a change, a wall moved or something changed. I mean, that's going to implement everything. Yeah.
Say the word. It's a change order. Right. Say the word.
Yeah. Clients don't want to pay that extra cost. But
people are scared of that word, change order.
Change order. Absolutely.
Right. So that's the main thing I say. That all of us can agree to is that once you have that plan locked in, you got to kind of move forward with it. And if you do want changes, that word's going to come up. Clients need to be aware of it.
So avoid change order.
Hey, permits are necessary, and there's so many do-it-yourselfers out there that are starting to gut their own bathroom. They're going to slap it back together. It usually sits there torn apart for about a year, and then they finally call a contractor, or they get red tagged in the process. As soon as they stick that dumpster in the driveway, code enforcement drives by and they see it. They'll come put a big red sticker on your door and force you to stop. They'll fine you every day until you get things on track and get the permits in place. Yeah, if you're moving any plumbing at all, moving any electric at all, and anything that involves a load-bearing wall or window or door, you need to go ahead and get your permit.
Got it. Jaret, 15 seconds.
The same thing I usually say, just do your homework, read your contracts, just don't quickly jump into something, hey, I'm gonna do this and not kind of think it through, because there's too many things that you can miss out on, too many tiny details that could be a big problem down the road.
Absolutely. So please go out there, consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.